Go.
Oh, hello. Right, today you caught me working on onions. Now, onions are really useful things to have. As you probably know, every time you do some cooking, there's always an onion involved. Onions everywhere. They're very easy to grow, but there are some rules you've got to take into account. First of all, onions, these are onion sets. They are planted on the shortest day, which is very soon, and harvested on the longest. You can also plant the evil onion as well, garlic, as well on that day. Now the important thing is you have to get these in while the ground is moist, because all these little roots aren't very deep. And what happens if the ground dries out, or the top layer of ground dries out, is they just sit there and wait. And eventually when it does rain, they go to flower straight away, so they won't keep. So what you really want to do is plant the onions just so the tops are showing, and I'll show you one or two tricks that I've learnt over the years. Now, it's too wet at the minute and it's too frozen to get on the garden. However, in a few weeks' time, these will go in. They are red onion sets. However, these are something different. These are shallots. Shallots are something that cost you a fortune in the shops, but really worth growing. I've got a couple of different ones here. There's a red one and a white one. Now shallots you plant just the same as onions, a little bit peeking above the soil, and the roots need to be in somewhat around the shortest day to be harvested the longest, except instead of growing big and fat like onions, they grow bunches of smaller onions around them, and you can pick them all, and then you can make pickled onions out of them. You can use them for cooking just like onions. They're very easy to grow and easy to use. However, you can't start any of these by seeds. They have to be from onion sets. It's important. There's two sorts of onion sets. One's heat treated and one isn't. One's more expensive and one isn't. Heat treated is always best, but if you can't get them, then plant the ordinary ones. Shallots you always buy as little shallots, which is great because when it comes time to harvest, you can save your own. You just snap off all these little bulbils that grow around the centre shallot and keep a few handfuls in a tray, like I have done there, ready for the new season. And what I'm going to do now, because I don't know when I'm going to plant them, is a little trick I've learned, is to sit them all upright. If you can see from this one, the shoots have already started to grow, but it's going sideways. Now when I plant it, I don't want it sideways, I want it to grow straight up. So I'm going to sit it straight up, so it will straighten itself out in the tray. So that's something, when you nip down the shops and buy your onion sets or your shallots, sit them on the tray, sit them upright. Makes them easy to plant as well, because when you plant them, you want a little hole, but you just want this bit poking up above the soil. And then next week, after you planted them, you go back in and push them back in. For some reason, the birds like to just pull the tops out and leave the shallots and onions sitting on the surface. They don't even eat them. Nothing much really attacks them. However, you will find some mould will get into your shallots over winter when they get a little bit damp. Oh, look, there's two joined together there. It's just how they grow. You separate them out like this, and each one will grow you probably another 10 shallots. Yeah. So make sure they're all nice and clean and tidy. There's no damaged ones, no mouldy ones. Not much point planting a mouldy one, they won't grow. Let's just hope for a good season. They should do well. If you plant them when the ground is dry and it stays dry for any length of time, they sit there in hibernation and don't grow very quick. So you really want to get them off and running pretty soon. And these are the evil onions, garlic. These are the few that my missus has left me with. I can't even get any garlic cloves at the minute. They're all gone. Only grow garlic cloves to be grown in this country. Don't get the ones from the supermarket that are for eating. They're really for different climates than we've got. These are the tough ones. These are Solent White, I think. So Oh dear, we're only going to have a few evil onions this year. Couldn't be better. Anyway, it's Vince here on the Grojo today, talking about onions. We're going to talk about other things this week, but for the first one, we'll leave it there. Goodbye and go and buy some onion sets.